Hi everyone. Oh, I forgot my little earbuds. Hello, hello, hello. So, hello my friends and welcome to another Monday live webinar. Thank you for being here and thank you again for being here with me today. And I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day every week to come and join us, whether you are live, whether you're here live with me, or whether you are actually watching on the replay. I'm actually in my kitchen today because I needed to get my flip chart up here. Lovely to see you. Thank you. Now, how's everyone today? I trust you're being kind to yourselves. It's so important, even these short periods of time every day, that you can do things to actually be kind to yourself. And the sorts of things it could be is maybe just taking a moment and allowing yourself to have a couple of really lovely big deep breaths, or take a look at the sky and think of something that you're really grateful for. So there's these micro ways of taking care of ourselves so that we maintain our energy and we maintain how we actually manage to get through the day and get through the week. Okay, so there's so much understanding coming to the surface about the benefits of these small micro moments. One of the things that I do is I have Alexa, I have to say her name really quietly because there she goes, she heard me, is sometimes I ask her to play Dancing Queen by ABBA, and we then have a little 5-minute dance around the kitchen so that I can then re-energize myself. So that's one of the ways that I take care of myself. Now, today we're going to talk about progress. Now, maybe your emails and Facebook and Instagram are bombarded, maybe not bombarded, but there's certainly some messages there about planning for 2021. Now, maybe some of you vacillate between hiding under the doona and just, how we're going to do this, or actually jumping right in and making the most of 2021. And this year, my business has honestly taken this sharp change of direction as I responded to 2020 and the things that were going on in my personal circumstances. Thank you, Louisa. Love it. Yes. This year has almost been like starting over again for me as I truly focus on working with women business owners to achieve this lasting financial mastery, that truly understanding what's happening financially in their businesses, leading to strong business decisions and, facts and financial data to actually have the confident conversation. So that's what we're working towards here. So that's really what, my focus has been this year. So if you want to grab your pens, I'm going to use this sheet of paper here, and I flip this round so we're not going to be backwards this year. So why is it so important? There's so much talk about setting goals. There's so much things that we, set the goal. But truly, the thing is, it's the actions and the progress we make towards that. What happens on a daily, on a weekly, it is this progress, this action that we take on a regular basis. So I just, for some of you who know me personally, who are involved, you know that my sister had a really major operation 2 weeks ago, and they've talked, she on her leg, it's repositioning the way it sits, and it's now a straight leg instead of this leg that kind of bowed out. And they've said to her in 12 to 14 weeks that she will have this new leg, that she will be like a new person. But the thing is, that is so far away, and what is really mattering to her is what she does on an hourly basis, what she does day by day to follow the program. And we can do, what's important is to just recognize a little bit better than what she was yesterday, and to track our progress and track our actions. And it's exactly the same for us in business. So let's draw this model out together. So if you've got a couple of different color pens, so here we are in January 2021. So it's 1/1/2021, or you can do it today, the 14th of December. And here we are right now. And the truth is that we are going to be in 12 months' time, it is going to be the end of 2021, or it's going to be the beginning of the following year. And there are 3 situations, there are 3 ways that we can actually be, is that we can have moved forward. So you want to draw a box up there that says moved forward. So you know, we're here and there's a moved forward. Or we could actually stay the same. So stay the same. Or, and you know, this is the third one, is that we could have gone backwards. So you might want to draw that out for yourself. And so what happens is, it's not actually a really straight line, is it? You know, if we stay the same, it sort of bubbles along and it's up and down, and we sort of get out to the end there, and we're pretty much in the same position that we were at the beginning of the year. And the thing is with this one going backwards, is that we sort of start off a bit the same, and it just gradually goes down like that, and we are backwards. The thing is, we also have the opportunity of moving forwards, and again, it goes like this, and then it starts to sort of have a life of its own, and it goes upwards, and so we're moving forwards. So what's interesting is that it doesn't actually happen just in this last part of the year. It actually happens incrementally all the way along the year. It'll be incrementally different as it goes. And as we look at this model, you know, it might seem familiar to you. You know, we've all experienced this, the reality of this model, you know, whether it's for ourselves, whether it's for clients, whether it's for friends or family. And what is the difference between these two directions? It's so interesting because what happens on the green line happens because we move forward by taking action and making decisions. So this is all about decisions that we make and the actions we take. The decisions we make and the actions we take. And what happens here, so it's this deliberate decisions based on accurate thinking and then the disciplined action that takes us forward. Effectiveness and success builds on itself. So as we make these incremental moves towards this and we start to get it, just, you know, it incrementally takes us. Now, I don't know, you know, I'm not aiming for the sky here. I mean, it would be lovely to go to space, but you know, what does moving forward mean to us? And so the opposite is true for the red line. And there's this beautiful, beautiful word that I love that we attach to this red line, and it's drift. And when I explain this to you, you'll really get this. So it's this sort of distraction, a lack of real discipline about what we do. It's having some of those poor habits that just cause us to drift. You know, I think about it in the surf. You know, we love the surf. We get ourselves into the surf, and we, between those red and yellow flags, I mean, I grew up at the beach, so, you know, I know the surf is a place that you need to be really respectful of. So I get myself between those red and yellow flags. But you know what? You're diving into the waves, you're having a nice time, and before you know it, you've drifted. You've absolutely drifted outside the safe zone. And this is exactly what happens, you know, with ourselves, is that we, you know, I know, and I'm 100% honest here, if I have a week where I have mapped myself out for the week and I've allocated time to do this and to do that, even if things aren't perfect, things get done. I make the calls, I produce the videos, I work on the models, I work with my clients, and things get done. If I don't map out my week, goodness me, here I am. Heavens, it's Friday. Where is the week gone? You know, this drift is so easy. And it's such a gorgeous word, isn't it? It's not judgment. It's not, you know, we're not doing any of that scolding, but it really is. It's so easy to get into drift. So it's, you know, again, when I map out myself, I make progress to where I want to be. And time passes for us no matter what. Time, by this time tomorrow, it will be this time tomorrow. But what happens between now and this time tomorrow depends on the decisions we make and the actions we take. So, and you know, as I said, it's not a straight line, it is a wavy line. Is it comfort? It definitely can be comfort, you know, because, and this orange line here is that we can be the same, and you know, maybe being the same is okay. The thing is, good enough and being okay, we've seen this year that hasn't really served us so well, has it? That these things come from sideways and knock us sideways. So you might have a couple of days where it feels like you make a couple of steps forward and a couple of steps forward, and we make the steps forward, and then we have these days where we feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm going 3 steps backwards. But what happens if we make 3 steps backwards and we haven't had the days where we make 2 steps forwards? So that's a real question for us, isn't it? Is that, yes, we're going to have those good days and bad days, and even here it's going to happen. But if we're not having the days where we make steps forwards, where we're doing the work, then if we have those days where we just don't feel like doing something, or we just don't have it in us to make those calls, or we haven't got it in it to write a video or make a call, or produce the work that we have to do or work with clients, if you're having those sort of days, you have to be moving forward to allow for being able to cope with that in the scheme of things. So many of you here in the Profit Lab, Healthy Numbers Profit Lab Facebook group, I know that many of you are involved in well-being and the wellness industries, and you can see how drift plays out in the body, how muscles atrophy, how when we're not exercising that things turn out the way they do, that weight creeps on. Where did those 5 kilos come from? It didn't just happen overnight. That creeps on because of the drift. And it's the same in business. We're all in business because we love what we do. We want to do what we do and make a difference to our clients. We want to make a difference in the world. And the way we do this is the choices we make about which line we want to be on for 2021. Right now, we are in the best position to put ourselves on that green line, because here's the thing, this is the closest the lines are ever going to be. And if we go back to my sister, and she's 12 weeks down the track, 14 weeks down the track, that is so far away for her right now. She is getting through the next hour, she's getting through the next day, is how is she going to recover, and how is she going to learn to walk again, how is she going to learn to use her feet and her hips again. COVID kilos, yeah, they cracked on, didn't they? Oh, we'll just bake some cookies here and we'll do that. So it's true, we drift. There's so many beautiful examples of this drift, and it's it just happens, doesn't it? But when we get to here and we're not quite at the end of the year, we get to this point and we think, oh my gosh, it's such a long way. Even back to here, it's a long way. But this is the time when we can make these choices. So I know you get this. I absolutely know you get this, and that's why you're here, and that's why you're listening to this. And I understand it. And I could easily be on this drift line. I can easily be distracted. I can easily procrastinate. But I have to make those decisions daily and weekly in order to make sure I'm bringing my best self to you, to my clients, and for everything that I do. I'm the first to admit that there's times when I've drifted. 2020 has not been one of those times for me, fortunately. I'm on that green line. I'm not aiming for cyberspace. I am aiming to do what I want to do and how I'm going to do it with the clients that I have. I can impact every single one of you in this group. There's 100 and something people here. My role is to work with all of you to help you truly build this lasting financial mastery that we want in business. And then we can go out and change the rest of the world. Then we can have hundreds of people, and then we can have thousands of people. But right now, my focus is on my friends, my good clients, the people who want to be part of this. So I'm going to leave you with today with one absolutely concrete way that you can challenge this to start to make progress. I'm going to keep coming back to this over the next few weeks. I actually wasn't going to continue. I was just going to take a little pause between the Mondays that kind of wrap around the Christmas and New Year's festivities. But you know what? I'm just going to show up here every Monday. And if you catch me live, that's fantastic. And if you don't, it'll be right there in the replays. But I'm going to keep coming back to this model and how some of these models can help us truly understand what we're doing. But here's the thing. We can start to choose some actions and make some decisions that will put us on this green line. So sorts of examples might be, for the next few days or for the next few weeks, is just get the biggest challenge out of the way before you stop for lunch. If you need help, identify how you need help and figure out who could help you. Ask them to help you and be really clear about what it is you need help with. Maybe just map out your time for a day or for 2 days, like what are the key things you need to achieve. And here's another thing that I feel about targets and goals. let's use momentum targets. Let's use targets that inspire us. Like, rather than having literal targets, you know, you must have 10, you must have 20. Let's work on having some momentum targets. 3, 2, let's have an hour of uninterrupted thinking. Like, set yourself some momentum targets so that you can look back and you can go, I did that. I actually managed to achieve that, and now what else can I do? And it's super important to identify some things here. So 1 or 2 up here and 1 or 2 down here. And the sorts of things that would be in your drift is, like, what are your social media habits? You know, I go onto Facebook to make some comments in here. I go into LinkedIn to make some comments in there. And I set the timer because I only want to be 10 minutes. I don't want to start watching cat videos. I do. I want to watch Drone Shark and see what's going on in the ocean. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to do business work on Facebook or on LinkedIn. I can do that in my own time, but let's not use our business time to drift. What about procrastinating? Honestly, you know, we vacillate and we think about ideas, but what can we do to actually, you know, just make a decision? Even if it's not perfect, just make a little decision and take a step. What about accountability? Like, let's hold ourselves accountable here in this group. Let's post things. Let's encourage each other. I'm going to post some more. You know, I set my timer for 5 or 10 minutes for that social media, and, you know, I'll check in with you this week and let you know how I'm going with that. Small steps, map them out for a cycle, for a week, for a day, if a week sounds too much for you. Mark your progress. Stay at the end of the day and go, you know what? I did that. Sometime, you know, when you stop to take those few breaths, and it goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning, let's make these micro changes that we can do, that we can stick to. These massive changes, this is too big. We can't do this. Imagine if Lisa sat for 12 weeks and did no exercises. That leg is not going to heal itself. She has to do 3 of those exercises, and then tomorrow she can do 4, and then the next day she can do 5. And then by the end of the week, you're going to map out your time, Bridget. Oh, I would imagine you're pretty good at your time, but yeah, just map out that time. It's magic how just by having it on a piece of paper and saying to yourself, this is how I'm going to spend my time. Okay, so that's enough for today. Let's do a really quick recap. So here we are today. In 12 months' time, we're going to be somewhere. We are going to be somewhere here. We're going to have moved forward. We might have stayed the same, and we don't want to be here, do we? We don't want to get into this drift. We absolutely don't. So which line do we choose? And the truth is, while the green line up here might feel like a long way off, and it is, right now it's a long way off. Right now we are as close as we're ever going to be to that green line. I'm choosing to be on the green line. Which line are you choosing to be on? We don't want to land on this drift line. We behave our way onto the green line. It doesn't just happen. It's a choice, it's a decision, and it's actions. And the real question is, how long are you prepared to wait until you take progress on that green line, until you take the actions that we need to take? I am with you every step of the way for this. This is as much of a challenge for me as it is for every single one of you. I am here. Thank you. Green for you, Bridget. Beautiful. Making progress on the green line is that is my motto for 2021. To just every single day make some progress on that green line. So that if there are days when I have to take 2 steps backwards, I've got my built up reserves there in the green line. So thank you so much for being with me today. I've lost track a little bit of what much time there was, but I know that you've stuck with me. I'll post this in if you want to watch some of this again. You know, I think this is a magic diagram. Put this somewhere in front of you so that we know that this is there. I hope you drew it with me. If you did, take a photograph of it and post it there in the comments. I would love to see your diagrams. And Misha slept through most of this. She loves to live in the kitchen, and she's just wanting some attention right now. So that's what that sound is that you can hear. Green line for us. Green line all the way for 2021. And yeah. I'll be talking a little more about this over the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much for being with me today. Really, really loving, it's a great diagram, Louisa, isn't it? It's so inspiring. Thank you. Thanks so much for being here today, and I shall see you next week.